Today's video is brought to you by Beautiful Halo. Thank you so much for sponsoring me, first of all. And if you guys would like some good quality anime merch, you can go to Beautiful Halo, link in the description below. And on your next $49 plus order, you can get 5% off with the code MEME. And if it's $99 plus, you can get 10% off with the same code MEME. MEME. Anywho, roll the intro. Welcome back, guys. This is King Weaves here, and this is What If Naruto Was Neglected Part 2. Last time we left off with Naruto and Kaio arriving to a land, where Naruto was doing a few missions with Kaio. And anywho, now we get straight into the video. No no stops here. But anywho, of course, now Kaio and Naruto were just talking during this one mission they were doing, and they were having fun. But anyways, of course, now a few hours have passed, and Naruto and Kaio finally finish their mission and go get their the reward. Consumption. What is that even a word? Wait, let me check. Sorry, not consumption. It's compensation. I'm an idiot. Sorry, guys, I'm illiterate. Anyways, of course, now Naruto and Kaio, who were actually going to pick this, their money up, actually get they encounter a few, Anbu from the leaf, and once they actually saw Naruto, they actually went to attack Naruto to actually bring him back to the village. But of course, Naruto's like, "What are you trying to do? Do you really think I want to return to the village? Do you now?" And of course, now, the Anbu say, "You don't have a choice, Naruto's Maki. You're part of the village and you will return now." And of course, now, Naruto and Kaio were like, "Are you dumb, fam? Are you dumb? Are you like dumb? Like, are you dumb or dumb? Like, bro, give me an explanation of how dumb you are, bro. Like, are you dumb?" But of course, now, Naruto and Kaio actually begin fighting. Of course, Naruto, who actually, was pretty much Anbu level, but of course, Kaio was nowhere near Anbu level, and Naruto and Kaio tried to, fight together, but of course, Kaio is getting injured, and in the end, one of the Anbus actually caught Naruto off guard and got a real hard blow on Naruto, and Naruto kind of went flying, and Kaio then actually did a 5-wall jutsu to actually separate him and Naruto. And Naruto then says, "Kaio, what are you doing?" And basically, now Kaio just looks onward and says, "Naruto, you've helped me all this time in my life. No one has ever done this for me. I want you to go on. I'll distract them. You run, Naruto. This is my final wish. Please, I want you to survive. I don't want you to die here." And of course, now Naruto's like, "Are you crazy?" And of course, now Naruto then says, "Kaio, come back with me." And of course, Naruto is desperate, and he doesn't want to see Kaio die. But of course, then Kaio then says, "Listen, Naruto, if we try to escape together, we will both die. I'd rather have you survive than both of us ending up dying." But Naruto has the complete opposite. Is that I'd rather die with you than survive myself. But then Kaio then says, "Please, Naruto, I'm begging you." And of course, Naruto then says, "God damn it, Kaio, you better survive." And of course, and Kaio, kind of got annihilated. And Naruto from even from far away, he actually saw what just happened to Kaio. Kaio got in the end, he got stabbed in the chest with 4 different Anbu swords, and Naruto saw this, and Kaio then looked back and said, "I'm so sorry, Naruto." And Naruto was completely out of it, and he's like, "You killed him? No, I'm not going to let you go after doing that." And of course, now Naruto's like, "You're all dead." And as he says that, he lets out some of the Naruto's chakra for the first time in his life, and is that okay? Now you're all dead. And of course, Naruto actually blitzes all the Anbu, all five Anbu. Yes, five Anbu were there, not four of them, but of course, four swords got stabbed into Caillou. But anyways, now of course, after this, Naruto actually literally kills all all five Anbu easily with the no help, nothing. All he needed is, the Ninetales chakra, and he annihilated them. They stood no chance against Naruto, and yeah, of course, now Naruto, after being able to destroy them, annihilate them, kill them, and Naruto then just looked at Kai's body and took out the five or four swords that were in Kai's chest, and then started crying, and it started raining too, and it just made it more dramatic. And anywho, of course, now Naruto looked onwards and said, "I'll avenge you, Caillou. I avenged you, Caillou. I'm so sorry." And of course, he realized that it's his fault, and he now Naruto, not only did he lose his subordinate, but he lost a friend in this battle, and his friend wanted to protect him, and this is the first time something like this has ever happened to Naruto. Someone wanting to protect him, not Naruto wanting to protect them, but protect someone else. But anyway, of course, in the end, Naruto buried the Caillou, and Caillou could rest in peace, since he got a proper burial. Unlike what would have happened if the Anbu actually didn't get killed by Naruto, they would have probably incinerated Kaiu's body just for the fun of it. But anywho, of course, now Naruto, who was absolutely fuming, of course, he was pissed off. But anywho, of course, he knows that Caillou wouldn't want to see Naruto in such state, a depressed state where he wants to kill every Anbu that he sees in his path. But of course, after this, Naruto, who of course actually continued the missions that he was doing with Caillou, but now alone, and he has no more subordinates, and he doesn't need anymore. He doesn't want them first in the first place. Naruto has still a lot of jutsus to master from the Scroll of Seanings. And anywho, of course, now after this, Naruto, who was actually depressed right now, he's just walking and killing people that he's been told to kill, and he still does the same things that he used to do with Caillou, but of course it's a lot more sad without him. But anywho, now of course, Naruto, who Naruto is now 12 and everything, like I said before, and the graduation test was a month ago, and now of course, Team 7, who was Sakura, Sasuke, and Sukome, actually began the first ever C ranked mission, and it was actually to go and escort Tarzana to the land of waves to build the bridge, without getting without getting killed or anything. But anyway, of course, Team 7 was doing this mission, and ironically, Naruto, who was actually in this mission too, and Naruto had something that Caillou left him. Caillou's thing, something that Caillou used to carry everywhere. It was the last thing his parents ever left him. Well, of course, since he was orphaned, his parents actually got killed. The last thing they left for Caillou was a a bracelet, and something that Naruto carries everywhere now. I know, just to remember Caillou, not as a friend, but as a person. Well, not as a person, but as a friend, and someone that he thought of as family. Anywho, of course, now Caillou, Naruto actually saw Tarzana, and that was the person he was meant to kill. And apparently other people were in this, but anyway, of course, Naruto only knew about him being in this mission. Of course, he doesn't know about the Demon Brothers and Zabuza and them lot. But anyway, of course, now Zabuza and Haku, sorry. But anyways, now after this, Naruto, who was actually following Tarzana around for a while, and he actually saw him going to the Leaf Village, which Naruto actually avoided to go in, and so he was just gonna follow him afterwards. And in the end, Tarzana walked out with Leaf Shinobi, and Naruto's like, God's sake, of course, and plus you had to be these ones, and of course it was Sasuke, Sakura, now people who remember Sukome too, and Naruto's like, really, really, out of everyone that I could have came across these mans, like, why world? And of course Naruto does not want to be near them or anything, he doesn't even want to talk to them, and so he just tries to avoid them during this mission. But anywho, of course Naruto, it's nighttime, and well, sorry, one more thing, nighttime, it's noon, and then Naruto sees the two demon brothers appearing, and Naruto realizes that his the person that may be a good person, and Naruto doesn't know about it yet, is about to get killed, and so Naruto's like, nah, G, nah, bro, you ain't getting nowhere near my client. Well, not client, but you know what I mean. But anyway, so Naruto actually appears, and then pulls out the little sword that actually killed Caillou, something that he kept as well, and this is to always remind him of how weak Naruto was to protect Caillou, and he couldn't protect Caillou at all when Caillou needed them the most, and so he always keeps it with him to remind him of his failures in his life, or his failure to protect the person who trusted in Naruto and everything. And so now Naruto's like, who are you and why are you here? And Kakashi sees this figure, and basically actually realized that this guy is able to take out two tuning level shinobi easily with a slice, and they're both on the ground, and basically then Kakashi actually comes up to them, and basically Naruto then actually disappears, and Kakashi asks them what they were doing here and who they are for, who are they here for. But anywho, they explain that they're here for Tazuna, but in the end Kakashi says they're going back. But of course Sukome, Sasuke, and Sakura, who's actually pretty strong here, they convince him. But anyways, Naruto is not even here to see how Team 7 does. He's here for Tazuna, and he doesn't care about Team 7, or for all he cares about well, he couldn't care less if they got killed or something. Really, Naruto doesn't mind it. In fact, it will be a one less pain up his ass. But anyways, of course now Naruto sees Zabuza and Haku, and here Naruto remembers seeing them with Tazuna Gato once, and and so he realized that Gato must have hired extra men to kill uh Tazuna, and he was that scared. And anywho, of course now Naruto realized it, and so he didn't get in the way of Zabuza and Haku. But anyways, of course he saw that Kakashi was able to fight Zabuza, Zabuza equally, even taking the upper hand. But of course in the end he slips, and Naruto sees this, and in the end Sukome comes in with her Sharingan and the Chidori, to actually make Zabuza jump away. And Naruto sees this and is like, interesting, very interesting. And of course now of course Naruto then says, oh well, she's gone stronger, don't really care though. Anyways, of course now Naruto is really impressed by this, but really he doesn't care. But anyways, of course he sees that his client is taking the people there, the shinobi, to his home, and he's like, interesting. And then of course he follows them, and a week later Team 7 is ready, and Naruto finally got his verdict. And team what's his name, Tazuna is a good person. He's seen what he does and everything, and he's trying to help the his village out. And so Naruto's verdict is that Zabuza and Haku are threats to his plan, and so he's just going to kill them both. And in the end Naruto actually sees that Haku is here again, and just saying, Haku did save Zabuza just as the usual. But anyways, of course Naruto this time appears and says, you guys get out of my way, this is my mission, so if you get in my way you will die too. And of course Kakashi's like, who the hell are you? And Naruto then says, no one of your interest now. get out of my way. And of course now Naruto actually blitzes the two, and in the end he was actually able to overpower both Zabuza and Haku put together, and that's how strong Naruto's gotten. And this is mostly because of the catalyst that he's gotten, realizing that Naruto is weak because he let down Caillou. He wasn't strong enough to protect him, and Caillou gave his life up to allow Naruto to escape the Anbu, and that pissed off Naruto. Realizing how weak he was, Naruto then said, started saying to himself that he needs to train, he needs to get stronger, and if he doesn't, if he ever makes any friends again, this might happen to them as well. And so Naruto's like, nah, G, I ain't letting this happen. I ain't letting that happen to anyone else. Of my friendship. My friend group. But anywho, of course now, Naruto, who just finished off with Zabuza and Haku. Then Gato appeared and he's like, oh, so you killed them for me? What a kind soul. Well, I'll be killing you. And basically then Naruto just blitzes all of them, and in a few swift blows he's able to kill every single one of Gato's men. And Gato is the last one remaining, and Naruto says, you know what, I'll use the money that you've stolen from these villagers to rebuild this town, and use you as an example. And basically, then Naruto takes, Gato, and Gato tells him to let him go. He's the one paying him. Naruto's like, I don't need your damn money. It doesn't really look like I'm that poor. And, Gato then says, let me go, you brat. How many times do I have to tell you? And basically, Naruto then, takes him to the village while Team 7 actually follows Naruto. Of course, they don't know it's Naruto, but anywho, of course, then Naruto says, is this the man that's been causing poverty in this village? Well, guess what? Today it's your lucky day. You'll get to kill him one by one. And something that happened in Akamaga Kill in the manga, the Prime Minister actually, Leone, actually annihilated the Prime Minister, the fat guy, the fat cunt. Anywho, I don't have anything against fat people, but that fat cunt really deserved it. But anyways, of course now, Naruto allowed them to take their own little revenge by cutting a bit of, Tarzan off one by one, nose, ears, fingers, just cut off each bit of, a Tarzan, and it was a manslaughter. Literally, it was scary, and Kakashi told his team not to watch this, and then he's, Naruto was about to leave, and Tarzan actually went up to Naruto and literally just bowed down, saying, I'm really thankful for you, what you did. And Naruto then says, don't thank me, go help your village. I'll be returning to this village one day, and I hope it's in good conditions, and I rely on you, understood? And basically now, Naruto makes his he's about to leave until Sukome asks who he is, and what the hell, why is he doing all this. And basically Naruto then says, oh, you see, unlike you ninjas, I actually care about people's well-beings. I don't care about doing missions and going into war against other villages. And as long as people are happy, the innocent are safe, that's all I care about. Of course, I don't think you ninjas would understand that, but you do you. I'm going now. And of course, Kakashi then tries to stop Naruto and says, who are you? And Naruto was wearing a mask, just saying. And Naruto then says, if I were to tell you, would it really matter? Now. And Kakashi then says, just tell us who you are. And Naruto then says, oh well, I really don't have anything to hide from you lot. And basically then actually takes his mask off. And this might be a bit controversial. You wouldn't I usually allow Naruto to keep his mask on and to not show his true identity, but here Naruto doesn't really care. He needs to make a name out of himself, because he needs to strike fear in his enemies, people who cause pain. And basically Naruto then declares war and says, anyone who causes pain to the innocent, I'll come for you. Make sure to tell that to the old man. And anywho, I'll be leaving now. And basically, Sukome tries to stop Naruto and says, Naruto, do you still remember me? And Naruto says, how could I forget you? After all, you were that one annoying girl that kept bugging me. If you just knew the situation I was in, maybe you'd understand. I left you that note because I wasn't that ruthless. I still had a heart back then. But now that I think back to it, maybe I shouldn't have told you. Maybe it would have been better for both of us. And Naruto then was about to leave, and Sukome was completely heartbroken. And basically, Naruto then just looks back and says, I hope you one day find the one that you like. And I am not the one that you should have liked. And what he means by that is that Naruto actually knew about Sukome's feelings about him, and he was against them because he knew that he was going to leave anyway, and Sukome never knew that, and he didn't want to cause pain to Sukome since he's not that kind of person. He doesn't like doing that. But anywho, of course, now Sukome then asks Naruto, is he ever going to return? And Naruto then says, who knows, maybe, maybe not. And of course, now Naruto is actually walking away, and then Sasuke is like, were you that loser from the academy? And Naruto then says, oh well, if that's what you remember me as, yes I am. So what? You're weak now. You can't really call me a loser anymore, and I don't really care. Call me whatever you want. After all, I could just kill you on the spot right now. And Kakashi then says, do not threaten my students. And Naruto then says, oh, so they're your students. Well, couldn't really see it. And Naruto's being sarcastic. He knows that Kakashi is their sensei. And Naruto now says, I wasted enough time here. Anywho, now of course Naruto is leaving, and Kakashi was not about to allow Naruto to leave, and so he actually apprehends Naruto and tries to he actually tries to put Naruto in a hold so Naruto couldn't escape. But then Naruto starts laughing and says, do you really think I didn't notice you trying to do that from the very beginning? And Kakashi is like, oh well, so you're a bit more keen than I thought. After all, you were a knucklehead in the village. And Naruto then says, oh well, if that's what you want to remember me, fine by me. But there's no need to stop me now. I'm not returning to the village no matter what. Even if you beg me, I don't care. Really, I really don't care. That village is cursed. Even if there was poverty there, even if there were people suffering there, I wouldn't come to help it for my life. Anyway, of course, now Kakashi actually tries to paralyze Naruto, but then Naruto actually substitutes himself with butterflies. Something I didn't really mention in my last bit, last part, is that Caillou's favorite animal, or favorite insect, or butterflies were his favorite, and so Naruto is just respecting Caillou, Kando, giving him the respect he deserved, since Naruto allowed him to die. And look at this now, Naruto wants to always remember Caillou, and so he's doing everything for him. And so Naruto has the butterfly substitution, and so Kakashi was completely baffled. But then Naruto appeared behind them and said, if you really want to start a fight, how about kill you all one by one, starting with Sukome? And basically he tries to attack Sukome, but of course Kakashi now, he really cannot allow that, because Sukome is his a child now. But anyway, and basically Kakashi looks at Naruto and dead in the eyes and says, do not touch my child. And Naruto then says, oh really, your child? Well, you don't really look too much alike. Oh well, anywho, I'll be leaving. And of course now Naruto actually disappears. Of course he created a commotion, and Sukome was completely saddened by this. After all, her dream was to bring back Naruto, but after what she heard, she really was skeptical on if her dream is right. Naruto, from what he's shown, he really hates the village, and she's scared that Naruto would just kill the villagers if he returned. But Of course, she realized that it's the village's own fault for treating Naruto like that, and she knew how the village treated Naruto, and so she felt a bit guilty too, since she is a villager, and she could have at least tried to do something right, but of course she didn't do anything. And the only people that Naruto has true respect for that are from the village is probably Shikaku, Shikaku, not Shukaku, Shikaku, Shikamaru's dad, and probably Itachi, who now left the village. But of course, these are the only few, and of course Shisui, which he actually met, but of course he always avoided in the end. Those are the only few people that he actually respects from the village, because they actually did help him, and if they help someone like him, they would help anyone in need, and that's something that Naruto realized. But anywho, of course, now Naruto, who was traveling, of course, actually came across this one man, and this man was a masked man, and uh, this was Obito, and Obito's like, oh, so you must be that kid I saw fighting against those Anbu, and of course Naruto's like, so you saw that fight? Oh well, what do you want from me? And of course, Obito actually left once Naruto started running away, and he realized that the one gonna win this fight. And basically, Obito was kind of surprised that he saw that this blonde kid was still alive, and he actually asked him, so you do missions for money, right? And basically Naruto's like, yes, so what? And basically then he said, how about I give you a mission? Of course I'll pay you. And basically Naruto's like, what is it? And uh Obito then says, you just have to go spy on the Naruto's Jinchuriki for me. And Naruto was like, oh, so he wants to spy on me, huh? I wonder why. And basically Naruto then asks, can I know why? And Obito's like, well, you see, I'm trying to capture him. And Naruto's like, oh really? Oh, pretty ambitious, don't you think? Remember, it's a Leaf Village. Don't you think it's gonna be hard? And Obito then says, I have my own ways. So anywho, are you willing to do it? Of course, Obito doesn't know that Naruto is the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, because Naruto used the Nine-Tails' power during the Army fight, and so he's just acting at this point. And Naruto's taking advantage of this because he he needs the money, and this is easy free money. He doesn't need to do anything. All he needs to do is literally fake that he's going to the Leaf Village, or maybe go into the Leaf Village and just stay there for a few days, and just give some fake ass info. And then Obito then says, all right, here, I'll give you some payment now. After all, I'm pretty sure I can trust you. And Naruto's like, well, thank you. You might as well just give the whole payment then. And Obito's like, oh, you see, I'm not that stupid. Giving that small amount is nothing. But if I get scammed, I'll just have to kill you. And if I pay you now, it's probably going to, just be a loss for me. Since you could just scam and leave, even though I could find you easily. And basically, Naruto's like, oh well, you do you. I'll just quickly do this mission. I need the money right now. And Naruto is kind of running low on money, since he's been giving most of his earnings away to other people, the people who really need it. Naruto only needs some to actually just eat, but of course he's actually running low on that's the only reason he's actually doing this mission. But anyway, of course, now Naruto actually takes advantage of this to actually go see how the village is doing without him. And once he actually enters the village, he sees happy faces, everyone's happy, and there's no more glares. And Naruto's like, maybe if I was still in here, I wonder what would have happened. They'd probably be looking at me, they'd probably be beating me. Oh, who cares? I'm only here for a few weeks. All I have to do is just spy on myself. Oh well, let me just watch. And of course, now Naruto is just looking around the village, and no one even noticed Naruto entered. Of course, Naruto actually wanted to go and see how the Hokage was doing, since he hates him, and he was hoping that the Hokage was getting old and dying out, or some next up disease or something. But anyway, of course, he sees that the Hokage is doing fine, and he's like, oh well, I guess the old man's still alive. pretty tenacious, don't you think? And well, of course he says, don't you think, but of course that's to himself. But anywho, of course now Naruto sees that the Hokage is talking to Sukome, and Sukome then says, Hokage, we need to do something. We saw Naruto. Don't you think we should go get him? He was in the land of waves. He escaped. And then the Hokage then says, you know what would happen if I find him, right? I'd pretty much kill him. And Sukome is like, but why? Why would you? And Naruto is like, can this girl never give up? Really? Haven't I told her that I don't feel like that? And Naruto, did reject her feelings before she could even say anything to Naruto. But anyway, of course, Sukome is not gonna give up. Even though she gets dumped, she's not gonna give up on Naruto. And Sukome then says, "Listen, Naruto's the ninth of Jinchuriki after all. Don't you think you need him in the village?" And Sukome is using this as an excuse, and Naruto realizes that, and he's like, why does she want me in the village back so badly? And under his breath, of course, he doesn't want to get caught. But anyways, of course, now the Hokage is like, Sukome, I told you multiple times now, so please leave. I do not have the time for this. And Naruto's like, well, finally, the Hokage is doing something useful. And now, once Sukome leaves, the Hokage actually just face palms and says, that damn brat. He's just making my life harder. Maybe I should have just sealed the Naruto's inside of me. And of course now, Naruto's like, oh well, he hasn't changed a bit, has he now? And basically, now, of course, Naruto actually leaves the Hokage to do whatever he wants. He doesn't care. And then now, Naruto, who was walking down the village, of course, he wasn't walking. He was he was actually in a transformation. Naruto then actually looked up and saw, the Hokage's stone statue, and he's like, maybe I should go see. And Naruto kind of missed that place because it was his favorite place in the village, and he's like, oh, this place will never stop being peaceful, would it? And Naruto was actually walking towards the fourth Hokage stone face statue, and then he sees someone already sitting there, and he's like, God damn it. And basically he was about to walk away until he heard something, and he's like, God damn it. And basically he heard the words God damn it come out of someone's mouth, and basically Naruto got curious, and he's like, what's going on here? Let me see. And then Naruto saw it was Sukome again, and he's like, okay, let me leave. And then Sukome starts crying, and she's like, why did I have to be so weak? Why couldn't I stop Naruto there and then? And Naruto's like, she's still thinking about it. What a fucking idiot. And basically then basically Sukome starts breaking down even more, and Naruto's like, damn it. And Naruto really couldn't stop himself at this point. Remember, Naruto may be kind of he may not be weak or anything, but of course after Kaiu's death, he's been depressed. But something that hasn't will never change about Naruto is that he always will want to help people in need. That's something that will never change about him, and that's something that I do not want to change about him. Of course, now Naruto, even in his transformation, he goes up to Sukome, and he's like, hey, what's wrong? And basically Sukome is like, who are you? And basically Naruto then says, I'm just a visitor. I just wanted to see the stone statues, and I saw you crying. And basically Naruto's acting polite, and basically Sukome then says, it's fine, there's no need to worry. And basically Naruto then says, but you're crying, don't you think there's something bad about it? And then Sukome then says, listen, it's none of your business. And basically she's like, you shouldn't butt into other people's business. And basically Naruto then says, oh well, don't you ninjas always do that though? And basically then Sukome says what? And Naruto then says, don't you ninjas always do that? And his voice goes a bit deeper, and he's like, I've seen multiple ninjas just interfere with other people's life, and sometimes even hurt them. Don't you think you guys are kind of hypocrites? And Sukome is like, what are you even talking about? And Naruto then just goes back to his normal self, and what he means is Naruto was just minding his own business with Kaiu, and then randomly uh, thing, Leaf, Anbu start attacking them. Like, what the hell did they ever do to them? Allowed them, fam. Like, what the fuck, fam? But anyway, of course, now Naruto was about to go into, a bit of a rage state because of what happened to Caillou, and after seeing how of course, it's not all ninjas, but of course, Naruto has that mindset at this point. But anyway, of course, Naruto is not like, he doesn't consider himself as a ninja, but he considers himself as more of a, a revolutionary. But he doesn't want, he wants this ninja era to end, this war to end, because it's just hurting other people outside the other the villages, and it's sad, and Naruto doesn't like it, and that's his main goal right now, to actually stop all of this conflict, and he doesn't really care about anything else. But anywho, now of course, Naruto talks to Sukome, and Sukome in the end tells this person. Of course, she doesn't know that's actually Naruto, but of course she tells him, even though she knows that she shouldn't be telling strangers about life, but maybe she just needed someone to talk to. But anyway, of course, Naruto then says, maybe you should just give up, and Sukome is like, huh? And basically then Naruto gives Sukome a speech by saying that maybe you don't understand what that kid must have went through if you wanted to leave the village. Don't you think about it? There must be a reason why he left, don't you think? And Sukome is like, but and then she was actually breaking down, and Naruto's like, listen, don't cry, I'm not trying to make you cry. I mean, if he wanted to leave the village, allow him to live his life. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's not like you were his girlfriend or anything. After all, he did leave the village. So, and plus, don't you think the village really hated him? After all, you did just say that the village treated him really badly. I don't think I would want to stay in this village. And Naruto's just trying to make Sukome give up on him before she gets in his way in the future. And Naruto's just thinking on the long term, and he doesn't care about Sukome's feelings right now. All he cares about is to finish his lifelong mission, and then probably just end his own life, because he doesn't see a point in living at this point, and he wants to finish the mission that he began with Caillou, and that is probably the only reason why Naruto even cares about living at this point. Like, Caillou was his only friend, the only friend that the only true friend that Naruto considered as a friend, and he died protecting Naruto, and this is something that Naruto can never forgive himself for. And anywho, of course, now Sukome then says, you don't understand. It's because of me. I could have helped him. I had my father. My father has a big influence in this village. I could have at least asked him to help, but in fact, I just stayed quiet and just stood by. And then Naruto was really getting pissed off. Even if someone has power, they can't really go against the council, all the villagers. Like, bro, I don't care. He doesn't care. And Naruto now really gets pissed off and says, you don't understand his feelings. You can't really say that now. Only because your father has power within the village, it doesn't mean he can overpower the whole entire village now, can he? And Naruto has a pretty deep tone at this point, and he's being serious, and he's like, listen, you may think you were doing the right thing, but maybe in that the kid who left, in his eyes, you're just one little brat. And Sukome was completely stunned by this quote, and she thought about it, and she's like, maybe you're right. And Naruto finally it's like, finally. And then Sukome just stood up and said, I'm sorry. And basically Naruto's like, you should not apologize to me, you should probably apologize to that kid. And Sukome is like, I'm not going to disturb him anymore. I'm not going to get involved with him anymore. There's no need. After all, he hates me. And Naruto doesn't really hate her or anything. He just found her a bit annoying, but of course you can't really come to hate someone just for bugging him, unless like they're taking the actual fucking piss, which then that's a different case. Like, bro, I'd slap the shit out of them. Okay, I wouldn't, but of course I'd be pretty rude. But anyways, of course now, yes, IRL, I'd be pretty rude to someone who's taking the absolute motherfucking piss. But anyways, of course now, alright, whatever. Anyway, I was actually drawing and I deleted the whole thing. But anyways, now Naruto leaves, and Sukumi was actually still just sitting there, and she was just looking up at the sky. Naruto finally being able to complete the mission of making Suki give up is relieved. But anyway, of course, while he was actually walking towards a hotel room, his hotel room, he actually overhears a few people speaking, and it was about the tuning exams, and Naruto's like, so they're being held in the Leaf Village this year. My timing couldn't be any better. I'll be enjoying these ones. And Naruto knows that it's in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and so and plus, what's his name? The master figure Obito actually told Naruto to return after like 3 months, and Naruto was just gonna stay in the village for like 3 weeks, and didn't leave or to go on his own journeys. But anyway, of course now Naruto actually wants to remain to watch the tuning exams, and so Naruto just still watches them. But anyways, of course, 2 weeks have passed, and Naruto during this time he's been training himself, and on his own in a hill that no one really comes around, and he was just lying down on the on the grass and says, "This village may be cursed, but I can't really lie. I do feel homesick." And what Naruto means by that is that he misses his apartment. He misses when he could just stay in there all day, and he misses that kind of life, carefree life. He just wants to be honest, Naruto just wanted to be a normal kid for once. But of course, now look at him. Naruto is a revolutionary, something that he created on himself, and he lost a friend because of him, being weak, and so he can't be a normal, a normal kid until he avenges. Well, he doesn't, not avenge. I wouldn't say avenge, but until he redeems himself after his failure. And it's not even that he failed. Caillou actually gave his life up for Naruto, so Caillou was more than willing enough to do this for Naruto. But of course, in Naruto's eyes, he's a failure, and he failed the only person that actually liked him or treated him like a normal person, and that's something Naruto can never forgive himself about. Anyway, of course, 2 weeks have passed. Chunin exams begin. The first two exams go exactly the same. Sasuke getting the curse mark, since Orochimaru doesn't even know that Sukome is Madara's granddaughter. But anywho, or he would have definitely took Sukome instead. But anywho, of course, the 1 month training begins, and Naruto is pretty bored because Sukome is gone with Kakashi and Sasuke, and well, of course, he doesn't really care about them. But of course, now he has nothing to do, and he doesn't want to wait for a month, so he begins his own training. And he actually created a pretty big explosion, which people didn't really think too much of it, especially because it was far away, and of course, not many people saw it, but people just thought that it was some ninjas training. But Jiraiya knew about that place. Jiraiya actually used to train himself there too, and that's just ironic. And he's like, that place is not too visited nowadays. I wonder who's there. Let me quickly go give them a visit. And Jiraiya really never wanted to neglect Naruto. It's just that the circumstances. God damn it, of course, my pronunciation is actual fuck today. Circumstances. Anyways, of course, Jiraiya was heading there, and then he sees Naruto there. Of course, Jiraiya knew about Naruto leaving the village, and he didn't blame Naruto, and he knew that Naruto was more than strong enough to take care of himself, especially because he's heard quite a bit from Kakashi about Naruto being super strong, and being even able to escape Kakashi's grasps, and so he's happy for Naruto, and if this is what Naruto wants to do, he's allowing it. He's consenting everything for Naruto, and he kinda hates the village for what they did to Naruto, but of course he can't hate them forever, and so he returned, and now not well, of course, Jiraiya was still pretty saddened that his godson is not with him anymore and he's somewhere out in the world. In fact, for all he knows, his godson could be dead by now. But of course, he can't really do anything about it, and he already has a plan on how to find Naruto. Of course, he was going to go search for him, and he was going to do that after the Hokage's finished speaking to him, because he actually came to the village because the Hokage actually finally wanted to retire. The Hokage understood that he's getting old, and he realized that he made a few mistakes in his life. Of course, for example, treating Naruto like that may have been a mistake, and that is mostly because he thought of what Sukome said, that Naruto didn't deserve all of that pain and everything. And of course she did say that to the Hokage, but the Hokage just realized that he did make a pretty big mistake, and so he didn't really want to admit it. But he fought over it, and Jiraiya, who was actually going to the Hokage's office, of course saw this explosion and felt it, especially because he knows how to sense chakra. But anyways, of course now he actually walks towards that place, and he sees Naruto. Of course now Jiraiya was ecstatic to see Naruto, and Naruto then explains what he's here for, and Jiraiya's worried why people are searching for the Naruto's Jinchuriki. But of course now here Naruto and Jiraiya actually get to find a bit more about each other, and in the end Naruto doesn't really mind Jiraiya, but of course he still doesn't want Jiraiya to get involved with his own life, and Jiraiya says that that's fine. He doesn't want to get involved in Naruto's life if Naruto doesn't want him to do it. But anyway, of course now Naruto was calm with Jiraiya, and so in the end Naruto and Jiraiya actually trained for a full month, and then Jiraiya actually left. Anyway, Naruto then to continue watching the Chunin exams, and in the end the Chunin exams went exactly the same, and instead of Naruto, it was just Sukome, and in the end, the attack on the village went the same way, and Sukome stopped it. Anywho, I'm going to skip that bit because, we're going to have to go further in the, story. But anywho, of course, Jiraiya, of course, saw that the Hokage died, and, once the Hokage was actually on the ground, about to die, and what really happened here is that the Hokage didn't use the Reaper Death Seal. In the end, he actually, was fully out of chakra, and he was dying. And Orochimaru's like, my job here is done, and I'm pretty tired after all. You did break a lot of my ribs, you damn old geezer. And of course he leaves, and Naruto. Of course Orochimaru does throw smoke bombs, and Naruto actually goes in front of the Hokage and says, "Oh well, I guess your time came before mine. That's pretty surprising. After all, you did want to kill me." And the Hokage, his eyes widen, and the Hokage starts crying and said, he apologized to Naruto for everything he's done to him, and over these years he did reflect on his actions, and he realized that he was not a good Hokage to Naruto in Naruto's eyes. And Naruto then says, well, no shit. And that of course Hiruzen just looks at Naruto one more time and asks for his forgiveness and for all the bad things he's done to Naruto. And Naruto's eyes widen. He's like, geezer, do you really think I'm going to accept? And the Hokage then says, even if you don't accept it, I'm just happy I was able to tell you this. I'm sorry, Naruto. And of course, and then the third Hokage's hand fell to the ground, and trying to just touch Naruto's cheek like like he was a kid again. But of course, now he wasn't able to reach, and in the end he died. Naruto shed some tears, and he started screaming, saying, "You damned old man, you realize that now?" And of course Sukome actually arrived to the stadium. Of course, she actually convinced Gaara in the end using a Taku no Jutsu of herself, and she was just so strong that she was able to beat Gaara, and in the end Taku no Jutsu him, saying that there are other people like him, for example her friend who is left the village, and she wants him to help her find his friend. And since they are literally a reflection in the mirror of themselves, and basically they went through a bad childhood, everyone tried to kill them, and now look at them, they both hate pretty much everything. And once Sukome actually carried Gaara back to the stadium, they both heard Naruto screaming, and even Kakashi, everyone was just looking at Naruto, and basically Naruto was screaming at the Hokage's dead body, and says, Naruto continues screaming, and says, "You say that now, after all these years, you've caused me pain, you've nearly killed me every time, every single day. Do you even know what I had to go through? Now that you're dead, you'll never understand the pain. Damn geezer." And of course now Naruto is breaking down, and he really couldn't be asked keeping it all in at this point. And Naruto's feelings were pulled down on the village, and the few shinobi that was still conscious in the stadium, like Guy, Kakashi, and Sand shinobi that were there, even Sound shinobi. And of course Guy and Kakashi never really hated Naruto, but they finally saw how much Naruto was had pent up inside of him, and he's letting go all out that Hokage is dead. And Naruto did scream out at first that the Hokage said sorry now, out of all times, once he's dead, so he doesn't have to go through the guilt anymore, really. And Naruto kept screaming at the Hokage's dead body, and at this point he just gave up, started crying and on his knees. And Sukome and both Gaara actually arrive, both helping each other. And Sukome tries to run up to Naruto and try to hug him, and basically while she actually was close to Naruto then let out a glare at Sukome and said, "Don't get any closer. If you do, I'll kill you. I'm not lying. I'll have no mercy upon any of you." And then Sukome is like, "Naruto," and she steps one more time, and Naruto then tries to blitz her, and basically Gaara, using the last bit of his chakra, he creates a sand dome around them. And Naruto was stopped, even though the sand dome started cracking because of Naruto's immense amount of power. And Naruto says, "Damned idiots, I told you not to get closer. You villagers really piss me off. All of yous, I hate all of yous. The Hokage, you, Kakashi, everyone in this village. I hate them all. There are only a few, maybe not even 5 people I respect that form this village. Other than that, there is no one in my life, no one I'd acknowledge. Now, get out of my sight." And Naruto was just looking at the Hokage's body, and Naruto then saw that the Hokage was literally with his tears, tears are falling from his eyes, even though he's dead. Naruto just goes up there, and Kakashi and a guy are up there in case Naruto does something to the Hokage. And Kakashi says, "Don't step any closer to the Hokage now, Naruto." And Naruto then just glares at Kakashi and says, "Who are you to talk? I don't even know who you are." And basically now Naruto just wipes the tears off of the Hokage, and basically Naruto's like, "You didn't deserve to die like this. You really didn't. Not only because you were a strong shinobi and you were respected by the village, but because you had to go through more guilt than just saying sorry at the end. We're fucking idiot. Always once a fool, always a fool. You damned old geezer. You were a fool all your life, and now you died like a fool again. You're not even funny." And basically Naruto in the end just froze was had a kunai in his hand, and was looking at the Hokage. Of course Kakashi followed the wrong thing, but basically Naruto, as Kakashi was actually trying to get close to Naruto to stop Naruto, but of course Naruto then just stabbed his hand. And Naruto then says, "You will have my blood upon your face, just to make you remember forever what you've made me go through." And basically Naruto stabs the kunai through his hand, and blood gushes out. And Kakashi was like, "What the hell?" And Guy was like, yo, what's wrong with this one? And basically, Sukome was just looking horrified, and how much Naruto had pent up inside of him. He's never been like this. Like, he's never really shown all the pain that he went through. He always, used to just hide it behind the, his cool face, like his calm face. But now that Naruto's letting go all out, and Sakura finally arrived with the Sasuke, and Sasuke was seeing all of this, and basically now Naruto declares that this village is cursed, and basically is that if I were me, I'd probably be attacking the village right now. But of course, since the Hokage said sorry for everything, I'm going to allow it to live on for a few more years. But once he gets strong, and then he explains that once he's stronger, he'll probably return to kill everyone in the village and leave nothing left. And Naruto is just bluffing at this point. He's just trying to, show them how much he hates them, and that's how much he does hate them. But of course, after the Hokage said sorry to him, Naruto's whole entire view changed. Of course, not on the villagers, but at least on one person, someone who used to be the core factor behind Naruto's abuse. First of all, of course, now apologized, and Naruto was kind of happy, but at the same time saddened, because and at the same time angry. He doesn't know how to feel, a roller coaster of emotions. But of course, Naruto then actually just or started walking away, and Sukome tries to run behind him, and Naruto then literally starts strangling her and says, do you really want to die here now, do you? And Sukome was already injured, so she couldn't even activate her Sharingan, and she's like, please, Naruto. And now Kakashi comes out of nowhere and tries to knock out Naruto, but Kakashi's hand just goes through Naruto's butterflies, and Naruto lets go of Sukome, and Sukome starts coughing, and Naruto appears behind them again and says, I'm telling you now, never come near me, Sukome. And Naruto just lets out a tear of sorrow, because Naruto did have some feelings at this point, after everything Sukome said in the a month ago. Now Naruto kind of felt bad for Sukome, and plus he realized how much Sukome did for him. Even though Sukome would have got hated for it, she didn't care. She did this for Naruto. But anywho, now Naruto turned into butterflies and left. Anywho, now Naruto on his way out of the village, a few days have passed, and he actually bumps into Jiraiya. Of course, Jiraiya asks Naruto to wait for him around the village, and in the end, everything happens the same. Naruto and Jiraiya actually go together to find out where Tsunade was, and Naruto here. Tsunade asks who is this kid, and Naruto then says an ex Leaf villager, and basically Tsunade asks why he's saying X, and basically Naruto's like, because I'm not a villager anymore. And basically Tsunade's like, you fool, traveling with a rogue ninja, do you really think that's a smart plan? And basically Naruto then says, I never became a ninja for the Leaf village. I left a year before I could, and I'm happy about it. I would never be a shinobi of that cursed village. I don't even know why Jiraiya Sensei wants you back in there. I respect your decision of not going back, but since he's asked me to help him get you there, return to the village now, or I'll kill you. And Tsunade is like, do you really think you can kill me, brat? And in the end they start fighting, and they take it outside. Naruto actually learned the Rasengan during this time, and Sasuke still got strangled by Itachi, because Itachi actually came for Naruto. And Obito actually realized who the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki was, especially because Obito gave some information. But anywho, now of course, Itachi gave information about Naruto, how he looked, and he matched Naruto the description of the kid that he's met a few weeks ago, a month ago to be exact. But anyway, of course, in the end, everything here goes the same. Tsunade actually loses the fight here to Naruto, and Naruto is so much stronger than Tsunade at this point. Well, of course, Tsunade was drunk, and in Tsunade's drunken form, state, Naruto's leagues ahead of Tsunade. But when Tsunade is actually fighting properly, it's probably a loss for Naruto, of course, still. But anywho, anyways, now of course he's still going to put up a real good fight. But anyways, now Naruto says, well, now that you're returning to the village, my job here is done. I'll be going now. And of course, everything happened the same. Sasuke left. Sukome remained in the village. now ultra depressed, and Naruto and Jiraiya actually meeting up a few times, and Naruto and Jiraiya actually mastering a few things together. But anyway, that's where I'm gonna end off. I hope you enjoyed it. This was the King of Weaves there, and anyways, of course, this one is taking a darker, a leaf, or I'm taking a bit of a darker, uh, well, darker. How should I explain it? I'm taking a bit of a different path here, a darker path for Naruto. But anywho, hope you'll enjoy that. I'm still contemplating if I should allow Naruto to be single for the rest of his life, or end up with Sukome, because I mean that's the only possible ship here. But anywho, that's something future me has to worry about, which is basically me in a few fucking hours contemplating what the fuck should I do. Anywho, I hope you'll enjoyed it. Please take care, stay safe. This was the King of Weebs here. Don't forget to subscribe to Ratreet, Miniman123, my friend Hxmesh, and my second channel, the King of Noobs. All links in the description below. Don't forget about the beautiful Halo sales coming up. Link in the description below. And use my link to support the channel. Use my link to sign up, and then my link to purchase your goods. And anywho, also join the Discord server. Link in the description below. And follow Shokiro and me on Twitter and Instagram, or Shoku only on Instagram, me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links are in the description below, and hope you enjoyed it. If you go up to here, hashtag Dark Naruto, and peace. My darklings are dismissed, and comment down if you like this part, if you like the new darker path I took. Anywho, bye. Take care, stay safe. My darklings are dismissed.